welcome this week's game review episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're talking about Until You Fall. It's one of the many VR fighting games, combat games I guess you could say, that take full advantage of the motion controls of swinging and making you sweat, to say the least.
Been around a while too, a couple of years.
The game came out September 20th, 2020, so just about 2 years now. Made by a very reputable team. This was published and developed by Schell Games, maker of some of our favorite games. We loved Lost Recipes. I Expect You to Die 1 and 2.
Yeah, those are phenomenal.
Making Among Us, so that, you know.
Yeah, no, they're active, and usually what they have their name on is pretty legit.
No, one of the best development teams in VR, and also one of the best publishers in VR. You know, there's some of the games on their roster that they didn't make, but they just published. But this is one of the ones they made themselves and published. It's a hack and slash roguelike, or roguelite, sorry. So for anybody who doesn't know what a roguelite is, it's the easiest way to, I guess, describe it would be you start really shitty. You do what's called runs. So you try to get as far as you can into the game. You're not going to complete it. You cannot.
No.
You die. You restart. You get upgrades. And you try the run again. And that's pretty much what a roguelite is. It's like repeating the
rinse, wash, repeat.
And get upgrades. You know, there was another one very similar to this that we reviewed very back in the heyday of the podcast. One of our first episodes called Swords of Gargantua that is now currently offline, but coming back online because of, you know.
I'll never reinstall it.
Yeah, there was a...
Screw them.
They try to kill the servers on it, but it's coming back. But nonetheless, this is a single player one, but it's just like all roguelites. You know, it's... like
Start from the beginning and restart from the beginning.
Get upgrades.
So if you're not into that style, it's important to know that that is actually what it is.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of reflect that when we get to our final thoughts and our rating in the replayability category. It's like any roguelite game isn't going to be heavy story-based or, you know, anything like that. It's
like it's a specific, you know, genre, just like tower defense. So, I mean, if that's your thing, and some people don't like that, but that's exactly what this is. Not tower defense, but...
Yeah, it's a roguelite. And it's like I said, combat-based. So you have different weapons to choose from. To start, you know, they have you do like this little intro tutorial that you die in. Like that's how a lot of these games are with the
I didn't
tutorial.
know that's how it was, that no matter what, that's how it was going down. So I tried my damnedest. And then obviously it was one of those, well, no, you're not supposed to win situations. But I thought if this is how the game's starting.
Oh, I'm so screwed.
I'm doomed.
Which then, you know, after that you go into the main area and there's a tutorial narrator, I guess, who stays with you the whole game and kind of gives you some lore and fills you in. I don't want to spoil the whole story of the game completely. But basically you're chasing a monster. The monster that kills you in the beginning, it's making everything in the area stronger and you got to kill it and you're chasing it down. That's kind of the gist of it. And to start, you really don't have many weapons. You have a couple to choose from. I think there's 4 to choose from right in the beginning. But I'll be honest, I kept my default too. I like my default too. But as you progress, you know, you get farther into the run, then you die, then you go back to the main area. The narrator girl, she's going to be like, hey, I got a couple new weapons for you to unlock. So then you'll see more different weapons available. And you can also upgrade your weapons that you have currently. And you do that with Aether, however the hell it's pronounced.
Yeah, I'm not even going to gamble.
Yeah.
I just call it Aether.
Yeah, I call it Aether, and I'm happy with that.
Aether money.
Yep.
It's basically money.
Exactly. It's your currency. And you get the currency by completing runs, but really cool the way this game works, because the way the upgrades work is you only upgrade your weapon, you know, and there's different perks for each weapon. Example, you might get more starting health with a weapon, or you might increase your combos with a weapon. But there's other upgrades that you'll get during the run that are only in effect for that run. After you die and you go back to the main area, you're back to your default starting.
Yeah, and they give you plenty because they're, you know, let's say you have to fight 3 or 4 people, and then that's the end of that little
wave
section. Yeah, we'll call it a wave, and then you go to this little red mystical rock thing, and it'll give you 3 choices. You got 3 choices every time you go to the.
Every time you clear a wave.
And they're not predictable choices. So, like, and this happens to me a lot for some reason when I play. I'll have 3 choices, and they're pretty much useless for me. I don't want, because some of them have negative effects on, let's say, your health.
Yep, take away 1 health,
but
to
it'll
add
give you, a jacked up,
weapon damage or anything
correct.
like that.
So, there's always a trade-off. But they do have other ones that'll give you, instead of starting with like 3, I don't know why they're gems, but your health is 3 gems.
Yeah.
They'll give you an additional gem that you can add, so you can have 4 or 5.
Or an additional combo, which is important in this game too, because
I'll take the gems over anything.
Well, it's funny, man. I like to get about 5 health. I've had up to 7, 8 health, and that's nice, but combos to me are just as important, because the way this game works is you can't just go in and swing like a madman at everybody and you can attack at all times. You can, and it does a little damage to them, but everybody kind of has 2 health bars. There's a guard, and then there's their actual health. So their guard's like this white line. Not line, but their health bar is like grayish white. And if you hit them, it goes down a little bit, but the main way you reduce their guard is by blocking. So they'll go to attack, and you'll see this line where you got to place your weapon to block. And there's single-handed and two-handed weapons in this game. I like the one-handed weapons way more. So you'll have 2 weapons, or one weapon in each hand. So you block here, you block there, you block there, then their guard's down. And now that they're dazed with their guard fully down, now you can hit them with the amount of combo that you have. So if you daze them and you have 2 combo, which is the default start, if you have your default weapons too, you get off 2 attacks on them. But if you can get your combo up to 4, dude, you pop somebody, that's double. It's like combos are so big, because every combo upgrade you get, that's 1 more hit you can get off them every time you daze them.
I found it unique how, I just assumed going into it was going to be like a typical, like all the other games to this style.
Swing at your own will.
Do what you want. But when I saw instantly that they're telling you where you need to put your weapon in order for it to block, I was like, okay, this is weird. This is a little different. And I enjoy that, because the harder the enemy, the more times you might, like one enemy might just be a 2 blocker, then you got 3 blockers, then you'll have somewhere it's like 3 in a row in a tight pattern. And I thought you could get away with just doing it with kind of one-handed, but you can't. There's a lot of times where you're going to have to like put 2 different weapons in 2 different block areas to withstand it. And every time you block, like you mentioned, I just call it like a shield bar.
Yeah, their shield, yeah.
Their shield bar, guard bar goes down, and then they kind of get stunned. But what's really weird is they tell you which direction you should attack, so there'll be like a line through like the guy's shield or some shit, and they're telling
up and
you
down,
like,
diagonal.
that's the idealist spot to do damage. So
yep,
you can't again just go in there but I do sometimes.
Yeah, if you do, you'll still do damage, but you won't do as much damage.
Yeah, accurate slashing and hacking is very important.
As well, they want you to do big slashes too.
And this is a very active. Before we get carried away, though, which we already did, how many stars and how much money is it?
Oh my goodness! I can't believe I skipped over all that.
I was waiting for an opportunity.
Right, I'm sorry. We had a lot of fun with this one. So it's $24.99 on the official MetaQuest store. It is a 4.7 overall, with 1,892 total ratings and 1,083 written reviews, which is,
damn good.
Yeah, that's a good ratio. I mean, you'll hear us. It's such a weird thing to comment, but you'll see most games. It's you'll be lucky with 50-50 for half as many written reviews that you do total ratings. But this is pretty good.
Yeah, and when you see like the 75% range, that is really good.
And sometimes, at 4.7 overall, it's been out for 2 years. Sometimes you'll see games drop, and really quickly they get up to, 5-star over, or 4.9, 4.8, because it's new and everybody who loves it's reviewing it. And then 6-8 months later, it's kind of more down at that 4.2, or vice versa. A game will drop, it's buggy, and then it takes a bit for it to go up. But
there's a game I'm dying to play. I won't mention what it is, but it was holding the 4s for a while, and now it's down to the high 3s. I still want to play it. But I'm like, oh man, that they're taking a freaking beating.
Yeah, so you can see how over time the rating can kind of fluctuate, but these guys have held really strong at 4.7. So
yeah, even after all that, I think only 2% 1-star.
Yeah, I mean, they've continuously added content. The 2-handed update is pretty new. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I think they did that about like 4 months ago. They added a bunch of localization for different languages too. So I mean, that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, conceptually, it's a really simple game to play because you don't, the repetitiveness is the only thing that's a little like.
Well, because here's the thing. Your rewards are randomized every run.
Yeah,
So,
they are.
example, your first wave that you complete, maybe you get a health block as an option of one of the upgrades this time, but next time you play, it could be something totally different. So your outcome of how your guys upgraded throughout is going to be way different. But the actual waves themselves are the same each round.
Yep. So you'll ace through the first little section, no problem. But then
like every wave is harder.
Yep.
And there's some bosses in it, and if you beat a boss, you're not going to fight that boss again. Except, well, there's difficulties in this game. Full disclosure, I play on the easiest difficulty, but there's difficulties in the game. And if you change your difficulty, then it's going to reset the bosses as well, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can't go all the way down to the easiest, clear the bosses, then go up to high. I get it. But if you stay on the same difficulty, you beat a boss, you're not going to encounter that same wave. It'll be much easier the next time. So that's cool to know. But yeah, it definitely gets harder with every wave. And, there's a lot of different things going on. Like you said, the harder enemies as you advance, they might throw 3 attacks at once, and you got to remember which order that got shown in. There's enemies you have to dodge things. Like it'll show you arrows to move, so you got to duck left, duck right, duck down. There's projectile enemies later too, so they'll shoot things at you, and it'll show you like their projectiles coming at you. And just like the block, it has a line of how you hold your weapon, so you have to line up the sword to match the projectile. I mean, besides just your attacks, you have this really cool thing called dash, which you can upgrade the strength of. It shows you your stat of it too. And like, boom, the farther you shoot from, the more damage it does, but you literally just click the analog stick up, and it'll show you kind of at all times, like, where you can dash to.
Does a good amount of damage to the guard.
As you upgrade, my dash right now I think does 30, which is, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's before the upgrades and stuff. So there's times I'm walking around like 35, 40 dash. Dude, there's these strong knights that you encounter probably like 3rd or 4th wave in. And like I can clear like almost 3/4 of their health of their guard on my first dash.
Yeah.
But if you dash again right after, you're not dashing from as much distance, so it doesn't do as much damage. And then they limit the amount of dashes you can do repetitively. Like there's a recharge time on it. But dash is very effective. I find myself dashing a lot.
Yeah, and there are upgrades you can get that'll reduce the
cooldown
dash time. Yeah, the cool time down.
Which I never have an issue with, I'll be honest with you.
No, but it's not just for bashing people. It's effective for getting the hell out of the way. Yeah, because sometimes you'll get jumped by 2, and then maybe a third one's walking his way over, and it's like, no, you're screwed.
Yeah, I try my best to keep it one-on-one combat just by how I position myself. I'll dash away if a bunch of people are coming, so then I just fight one head on. But
and your weapons, you'd mentioned they each have like a special magic power. Like the one I have, I definitely have the shield, and then I got a new weapon, so I'm not really fond of that special power. But you need them.
Yeah.
But the recharge on that is through your proper gameplay, not just sitting there waiting time.
Yeah.
So
and
like example,
the shield
fight
one.
Well.
The shield one takes a while to upgrade too. Or not upgrade to recharge.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be smart about when you use them too.
Yeah, that's where the repetitiveness does come in handy, because you'll remember like, oh, there's going to be this, it's not just the bosses that are hard. There's like,
no, there's a lot of different style enemies.
This game is very challenging. As simple as it is to play, it's wicked challenging.
As you get deep into it, there's some guys that are throwing unbelievable, because it's not just like the amount of attacks are increasing, it's also the speed of them. So like there's some enemies there's one enemy late in the game that like he has 2 full bars of health. So he has his guard, then he has 2 full bars. So once you destroy 1 whole bar of health, he gets red hot. And like, dude, his attacks go like 4 times as fast. He'll dash at you now. Now he dashes at you and you have to duck it. And it's like, you'll see him, he gets red, and he'll do an attack that like makes the whole circle area around him red. And if you're in that area, you're taking a hit. So you got to dash out of there real quick, or you can stop him from doing it by slashing quick, but good luck, because he's going so fast at that point. So what I end up doing for him is like, because I have the same invincibility sword as you, which, you only get a certain amount of health blocked with that. It's not like you're invincible for the whole amount of time that
No,
it
you
does.
still should be playing intelligently, not use. But
if you get hit, it's going to go away.
If you know you're going to take at least one blow, maybe two, it's worth it.
Yeah, where I usually use that one is if I know if I'm on my last health, because when you completely run out of health, you still have one more health, but the screen's all gray and you're dead. That's when I'll whip out the spell. But with the guy who, once you clear out one full bar, he comes and attacks you. I'll get him so it's I time it so well, so like I'll kind of do like small weak hits with my weaker blade on my right hand, so I know I'm not taking all the damage, and I'll get it so it's just about to be one full bar done, but not like literally a sliver. And then I'll guard against him. Boom. Then the next guard I do, when he's dazed, I'll use my special weapon on my axe. So the attack on the special ability on the axe is like your next attack is going to do a bunch of damage. So I know if I daze him and then I use that special ability, I'm able to kill him during that combo. But if I deplete one full bar and then I try to just avoid him going red hot completely.
But yeah, for all the right reasons. And you have to upgrade your, not just in game with the 3 choice, but in between game when you're in your little forging castle area. What I like is when you upgrade a weapon, it costs you the money we were talking about. But when you go to upgrade it again, now it costs like double. Go to upgrade it again. So you can see the connection of, if I want a seriously maxed out weapon, I'm going to have to play a lot. And then you unlock weapons.
Maybe you like a weapon more.
So now you're back to square one with the upgrades for that weapon. But you never lose the old upgrades. You can look at that weapon and see like, oh, it's, level 5 or level 6.
Yeah, and you can switch back to it whenever in between runs.
Correct. Too. But when you do pick up a cooler weapon, just know that
you might be tempted to switch.
Man, you ain't going to finish the game. You're not going to finish all the levels because you just got a brand new weapon.
And it's like, so when you upgrade a weapon, do the permanent upgrades, there's a couple possibilities of what it can increase. It can increase the actual health damage it does, which is when they're dazed and you hit them directly to their health. How much damage is it doing? It might also increase the guard damage. So how much damage is getting taken away from them every time you block. It might add a special ability slot. So every weapon has, besides its default special ability that you can activate, it also has like bonus upgrades. Like this weapon does 10 extra health if you end a combo with it. Anything like that. And throughout the runs, you can find additional upgrades that are only temporary for that run, and they fill in a slot. So maybe you upgrade your weapon, and it doesn't increase the stats, but it adds another upgrade slot for during the run. So it can be a variety of different things.
Oh, yeah. There's some good possibilities.
And every weapon has a bonus starting stat as well, in the sense of like one weapon will give you, one extra combo. One weapon might give you 1 extra health. Some of the later weapons might give you 2 extra starting health. So you gotta really look at your play style. Like my giant axe, I've been tempted to get rid of it, but I have it so upgraded. It takes over 1,000 gold to upgrade now. It does so much damage, and it gives me plus, I think, either 15 or 20 dash. Just on if I switch that weapon, my dash is getting reduced by half.
Square one.
Yeah, so it's like, can I really drop it? And then my invincibility weapon, I was tempted to switch it for a later weapon that I unlocked, because the stat bonus on the invincibility one, you get 1 extra starting health, and then there's one that does it 2 instead of 1. So I'm like, that might be better. But I've put so much money into this one, I can't just ditch it. And then it's going to take me so long to spend that much money on the other one,
Well, and they're smart, too, because they know how to bait you with wanting something new.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this shiny thing over here.
Oh, man.
But you do have to start over, and it's not like you're going to go into level 1 and make a whole bunch of money,
No.
It's just the way it is. And sometimes in those 3 options, money's not one of those options.
No. And sometimes you'll be going in, so I do 2 different style runs mentally. I do a progression run, which is if I'm trying to...
Going for as far as you can go.
Yeah, which I might not walk away with as much money, but I'm probably, most of my upgrades...
Picking more logical upgrades than money.
Combo, stats, whatever. The other style run I'll do is a money run, because, look, baby, I'm not making a fortune unless I upgrade my weapon. So it's time to upgrade my weapon, but I'm broke. So I'll go in, and I will do illogical upgrades, which I'm taking 15 ether, I'm taking 25. The game's smart too. I've noticed that, like, so if you take damage, it might offer you one of the upgrades being to restore your health, not add more crystals, just restore it. But then they're also going to offer you 50 ether as another option right next to there, and it's like, dude, 50, or I've even had 100 in those situations.
Yeah, no, those are good amounts.
And it's like,
That's not the norm.
I might be willing to just take the 100 and die next round, then, because I'm just
Absolutely.
going into it for the money. One time you did that, and then you made it farther than you ever had. And it was just funny. It was like, you're going in for the money.
Yeah, I went for the cash and made every decision to get cash when it was there, and you crushed it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so stupid.
What happened to me, the last time I played, the farthest I've ever gotten to, got to the very last level. Like, dude, it was nice. And then I looked, I had freaking 1,500 gold from the run, because the last like 4 levels, they were just no good upgrades. So I was just picking the money, and it was like 100 every time. I was like, what?
Damn.
They're just expecting me to keep losing, and I just keep going. They're throwing it at me. So I left. I was like, oh man, it's upgrade city. And then I go and I'm like, what am I talking about? It costs freaking $1,200 to upgrade anyway. I can only do one upgrade. That sucks. So, the better you get, the farther you have to get if you're even going to improve anything. I make 300.
It'll take a long time though. I'll say that.
Yeah. So, and there was one time that, me and you kept dying while we were playing, and you go, dude, we're on the easiest difficulty.
I know.
And I'm like, don't remind me, man.
The easiest. You're going to get a workout too.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. You are definitely going to get a workout.
I believe it's one of the highest caloric burning games on the Quest, and you'll see why.
Yeah.
The game,
squatting.
I don't move around much in terms of walking. Like, I stay stationary. The game even lets you play sitting, which is interesting.
Yeah, I tried that. It wasn't much better.
Well, you still you still have to duck, like but you don't like squat down. You just like lean forward,
Yeah, it wasn't much better.
But the game's a workout, dude. Even though you're not moving around, like you're not gonna walk around up and down, side to side, but just the intensity that you're swinging your arms with.
I'm not usually killing batteries with this one. What usually happens is I
kill your battery.
I work up too much of a sweat, and I'm like, I gotta cool off because I don't want sweat dripping in my headset.
Yeah, your human battery is dying before the headset, the headset.
So it's
battery.
probably really more just a workout game disguised as the.
Yes, absolutely. This is one of the best examples of gamified exercise, I'd say. You're not going to realize you're getting exercise.
Dude, I played for 10 minutes. I get my Oculus message pop on the screen that I've hit my
move
goal for the day. I'm like, damn. I literally just, I'm at the opening part. What the hell's going on?
No, it's because you get into it. So you get adrenaline.
Yeah,
it's encouraging you to take big swings.
Be careful of your play area, though, because there is ducking and dodging, and there's times where you might have to duck and then while ducked move to the right or left, and it's like that puts you at level of cabinetry and such.
Yeah, usually at the end, especially in the later ones where there's a lot going on with a lot of different enemies, because like I said, every wave gets harder. So usually at the end of every wave, I'll reposition myself, make sure I'm not facing towards the TV or anything like that.
It's just smart too, because you're doing some hacking and slashing too.
And even though I don't walk around much, occasionally I will catch myself at the end of a wave, and I'll be like, how the hell did I end up over here? So, I mean, the game's immersive. It's fun. You're going to sweat.
I do so much turning, and like I'm in the game. That's why I do those pads they sell where it keeps you fixed stationary. It's like
you can see the benefit of it. For people, especially like apartment living, that kind of stuff. Oh, absolutely.
You'd be walking instead of using a controller because it's got the slide floor.
Yeah, the reality is, most people don't have like dedicated play areas. They're playing in their living room, they're playing in their bedroom, whatever's available. Yeah. So I mean,
hello, no, we're not in our warehouse.
No, for most people that's not the case, unfortunately. So it's like I can see the benefit of those type of products.
No, they're just wicked pricey, but
for what
beneficial. Yeah, but it makes sense. I mean, if you got I've seen the one where
TV?
you wear a special sock that glides because it's like
I don't know if you.
But I like the one where it's like a treadmill. It's a 360 treadmill. So anywhere and it's got a big foam ring around it.
Yeah, I've seen
stationary.
A lot of cool stuff like that. But
this game screams that.
Yeah, this game screams like haptic feedback would be great in this game to have with it.
It's a great game. I just suck at it. I mean, I admit it. I'm not great at this.
But that's completely fine because you know what? It's still a fun game, and inevitably, if you keep playing it,
You'll beat it.
because you're going to keep making money.
You'll keep upgrading.
And
It's all about the upgrades.
what I've noticed, if you're struggling on a wave, a specific enemy, whatever, once you beat it one time, just like there's something about it mentally. Like you're
You
gonna
get the formula.
because the enemies don't change, so you know how to beat that enemy now. So much of it is like learning their rhythm, their pattern.
The worst is when you beat somebody really good though, and then you restart and you go back and you get your ass kicked. It doesn't make sense. You're like, I just beat this guy.
No, well, what I've noticed they do is if they introduce you to a new enemy, you're gonna fight that enemy, and then there might even be some hard enemies right after him. But basically, you're gonna fight a new enemy. You're gonna be like, oh my god, that guy was so hard. Then you get to the very next wave, and to start that wave is that dude.
Yeah, that bothered me a little. The first time that went down, we were in party chat.
I kept telling you because I was much farther than you, and I was like, dude, just wait until you beat this guy. I can't wait for you to get to the next wave.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. Oh no, someone's playing. That's Steve Sim going down right outside. All right, cool.
That's the Find the Cambria.
Find me Cambria Sim.
How do you get the Cambria? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's a fun ass game. I feel kind of sad that we didn't review it sooner, to be honest with you.
No, full disclosure, this one came by community request. Specifically, one of our Discord members, 8 Little Bits, was like,
when you're reviewing this,
when you're reviewing this, and we were
it's always been on the radar. It's just one of those. I wasn't 100% sold on it.
No, and I think what really kept it away, and it's going to be something I actually think that the game could use for replayability and such, is it was single player. It's not a co-op game.
Mm-hmm.
If this game was co-op, it would have been one of the first ones I ever bought. I mean,
this game would be badass co-op.
I think gameplay mechanics, it would work co-op.
Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Especially if, maybe they would set it so only one person can fight one enemy at a time. Like, you can't double team them. I would get that. Like, maybe
it
locks up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Maybe harder, like double the amount of enemies, something like that,
I don't know. Future thought that'll be Until You Fall too.
Right? But I think that a co-op feature of this, I mean, we'd be sweating a lot in our quest too, I'll just say. I would be hitting you up whenever.
It would definitely be a lot more fun.
Yeah. And hey, I still had a great time with it. I just mean in terms of like returning replayability, it'd be something to bring you back besides the exercise aspect.
Replayability is to be desired, I'll say.
Well, we'll get to it some more when we do the final thoughts and rating, which we can do in a moment, but I'd say a lot of the criticisms of replayability of the game would probably come with the entire genre of roguelite, not so much this game itself. I think they do a great job with the progression. I think they do a great job with the upgrades. I think they do a great job with incentivizing you to play again, but I think the lack of doing it with a buddy might stop it from being, as replayable as it could be.
I just think you reach a point where, it's not going to be a challenge for you anymore. Mm-hmm. Even though there's a variety of weapons, but let's be honest, everyone's got their favorite weapons, their favorite guns and shooters.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't matter. They're going to keep that. So once you just have maxed out, I mean, and kudos to you, because that means you can play.
You spent a lot of money, in-game money, so that means
yes,
you spent a lot of hours.
I know you can do, the harder difficulties and such, but, I don't necessarily think it's a home run with replayability.
No.
I'm not shitting on it either.
No, it's...
Because it's got a lot of fucking gameplay if you really want to. If you were to go, I'm going to maximize every weapon, and I'm going to, good luck.
And if you want to sweat without doing like a workout-centered app that's very obvious that you're working out, this game's going to have you swinging your arms. It's going to have you swaying. It's going to have you ducking.
Probably one of the best undervalued parts of the game is the workout factor.
And here's the thing. When I duck, I don't like bend at the waist. I do a squat. Yeah,
I do squats.
I mean...
I keep straight, squat right down, and then move to the right, move to the left. I mean, it's almost like a workout pattern, and then your arms up.
No, for real. Yeah. It's so freaking like gamified workout. They did a great job with that, and depending on the length of your runs, it's going to go 10 minutes, 15, or like upwards of 35, 38. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a long workout set. We were putting in a lot of hours just to get it ready to be reviewed. So, like, there's times I did 2 to 3 runs, 4 runs in a row, which is that's a lot in this game. You're sweating. I think the best rhythm for this game for me, I think, like, especially, the runs that are like 30 minutes, think one run and I'm good. Hop in,
Mm-hmm.
go far, do
Oh
30
yeah,
minutes.
no, definitely. I wouldn't be doing two.
Especially if you're getting far in the game and you're doing like 30-minute runs. To me, that's the
Like I said, I'm not killing my battery with this.
yeah, you're killing your battery.
I'm just,
your body battery.
Yeah, the sweat battery's plugged in.
Yeah, and I get what you mean about the sweat rolling into the headset.
Yeah, I just don't like it when I can feel it. When I can feel it on my like eyebrows, and I'm like, oh boy,
there's gonna be a drip coming.
Yep.
There's gonna be a drip coming. But do you want to get into our final thoughts and our review? All right, awesome.
Absolutely.
So anyone who's listening to the show, this is the time that they know. Sponsor break, advertising moment. Hey, we always talk about the dream to go full time with podcasting. We're gonna be rolling out the Patreon server, but these guys over here, they're helping as well, besides the listeners themselves. So take a moment to hear what they got to say, and we'll be back to the show. Damn, Stratus, have you been working out, or is that a new shirt?
Nah, it's just a new shirt.
What is it? Is that your True Classic tee right there?
It is.
Oh my goodness! Check this. At the Ruff Talk VR podcast, we just landed a brand new podcast sponsor.
One that I'm really happy about.
Well, let's be real. It's the case with you. It's the case with me too. Anybody who knows us, we're pretty weird about, shirt material.
Yeah, just I don't like certain things on my skin.
No, I'll drive my girlfriend crazy. I'll put on a shirt. I'll sit there for a second.
Off.
I'll be like, nope, need a different one.
Too thick.
Yep.
Too heavy.
Material, fabric, weight, it's all essential for wearing a shirt.
Yep. You're speaking the truth.
And you know what? These shirts came in. True Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Their shirts, they're lightweight.
They form fit really nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like not everybody's got the
jackpot.
guns, but you don't need it with these type of shirts. Real form fit. If you're, we'll say, a bigger size gentleman,
Dad body,
either long or just
bod.
bigger. It really doesn't make that hanging feature that you see some shirts put on. It kind of just hangs right over.
The most important thing for me was going to be how it felt on my skin more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything outside of that's an added bonus. So they've hit all the boxes that one would need checkmarked for a good quality T-shirt.
Yeah. So whether you're like us and you're very particular about the type of shirt you're putting on, or you're just having trouble finding a good fit T-shirt, check out True Classic. You can use code word Ruff Talk VR, all one word. You can save 25% off your order, and they even do free shipping with orders above $100.
Yeah, that's in today's times. That's worth its weight in gold.
And you might say $100 in shirts. Go
shop.
You know what? They got packs. They do other things besides shirts. They do workout stuff. You say.
Yeah, you can bundle your own little wardrobe accessories there. They got something for everybody. But if they could send out like a little 4-inch swath of their shirts to just millions of people, I bet you millions of people.
Oh, just sample the fabric?
Because before I even put mine on, I just wanted to feel it. And I knew before I was even going to put it on, I'm like, this is a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but they're definite. I'm living proof. I got a whole drawer in my house full of shirts that I will not wear, each for a specific reason.
Yeah. No, True Classic tees is not going to fall into that pile.
Nope, they home runned it. They really did. So, and I'm happy that they did, because otherwise we certainly wouldn't be able to talk about it.
Yep, and I'm glad that now we can share some savings with our podcast listeners. So,
absolutely.
Again, that's 25% off with code Ruff Talk VR, and purchases over 100, free shipping, baby.
Nice. Smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for Fresh Ball Fall. The leader in below-the-waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep your sweet, sweet sack in check. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver, toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. Their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Now that your sack is smooth, lather up with Manscaped's liquid formulations to get that fresh ball fall freshness. The Crop Preserver, ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. Their soothing aloe vera formula is the best in the business for below-the-waist freshness, and the clear-drying formula keeps your sack looking and smelling good. Great goosey moosey! Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag that'll bring your comfort to another level at home and on the go. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ruff Talk VR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Ruff Talk VR at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall.
This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my 2 personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. All right, final thoughts and rating. Do you remember who went first last week?
You did.
You did? So do you want to go first on this one?
You called yourself you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. So, okay.
Put on my old man glasses.
The reading glasses. If anybody ever hears click, 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 click,
yeah,
right before the review, that's because I wear glasses full time, but you got to put on the reading glasses.
I wear glasses because apparently when you get over in your 40s, and now that I'm in my young 50s, your vision starts to go and you need readers, which pisses me off, and I want a solution to this, but I can't find one anywhere. So readers it is. Until You Fall, Schell Games. I love Schell Games. I really do. I can't wait for anything they make because I know it's fun. This one was admittingly probably better than I thought it would be. Otherwise, I would have gotten it a lot sooner. There was just always something kind of holding me back. And I don't think it's because it's like a progressional like that. There's just something. I don't know what it was. But
probably, I'm not.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think for me personally, it was just the lack of multiplayer.
It could have been. I think because I know when we were going big into like only getting multiplayer games, we kept going to this one like I really want to play it, but
it's not multiplayer. Yeah, no. I think if it was multiplayer, we would have been one of the first games we bought on the Quest.
But the gameplay itself, it's actually unique. They've brought a unique experience for something that, you know, other people have done, and we've seen it in different manners, but they have definitely brought their own unique gameplay element to it. And it was fun, but I give it a 15. I mean, it could be maybe a little biased to that style of gaming, but I don't think so. I don't think a 15 is bad. Aesthetics, you know, it's not groundbreaking. It's not terrible. It falls into that category of it's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, they're good graphics. I'm not complaining. Nor is anything standing out as like, oh my god, you have to see this. But you know, for a fighting game, you do need some level of decent graphics. But I give them a 15. There's no real like major sound score, so I've got nothing to really say like, oh, it had that intense sound score. Functionality, I give them a 20. I have read people have had some problems and issues, and saw one small hands and whatever. But I'm pretty impressed because some of the enemies you fight, it's not like slow-mo fighting. It's like it's coming at you fast, and like you said, you got these marked areas. You got to put your weapons in order to block these attacks, which behooves you to do. I didn't once have a situation where things didn't work like they should. I put my weapon where it was and boom. So I mean, I was like, damn, that's pretty impressive. And in the midst of this, you can dash away. And I didn't have any non-responsiveness. I was looking for any jank at all. Functionality, a 20. Replayability for me is a 15. I don't think it's 20 worthy, but I don't think it's 10 worthy. I actually kind of don't dislike the game, so I'm not just the best at it. So I'm probably going to get more time played than anybody on planet Earth with it. So my replayability is a 15. I know once I hit that end point though, and I've maxed out my shit, it'll probably get shelved. But for now, I'm pretty stoked. And value for money for $24.99 for your I don't even know how many hours. Your hours of gameplay depends on you. Me, I'll probably get 100. But the fact that it's I would say it's an athletic game described, hidden under the guise of a cool fighting game. Holy crap, you're getting your money's worth, because there's very little gym sessions that you could, that would cost less than $24.99, and you'd be working out that kind of workout. It sounds silly, like there's no way it's really that much of a workout, but I'm like, yeah, it is. Put your little Oculus thing on and see how long it takes to, and I'm not like out of shape, so it blows me away that I'm like, damn, I'm really moving. So a 20. I give him an 85, which I'm not upset about.
No, that's a really solid score. I mean, and like you said, you're not clearing this game easy. It's not like you're the best dude ever at this game.
No, I'm not.
But you're not having a bad time. You didn't have a bad experience with it because of that either.
Oh God, no. No. Because listen, it's all on me. It's just my ability to beat the people that are in front of me so I can move on. And where I struggle is like, I just want to keep upgrading my weapon. Mm-hmm. So it's like I'm more prone to, like, I'll say personally, I'm doing this more for the cash.
Mm-hmm. You're always picking cash upgrades if you can.
If it's one of the three, I can't help myself. Unless the only caveat to that is an increase to my health, where I can go from 3 gems to 4, 5, or...
Yeah, because I can carry you far.
Yeah, to me, it's critical. Mm-hmm. There's a certain point, if you have only 3, you're probably going to be screwed until...
Yeah, there's even one of the later enemies that swings so fast and so much that if you miss one, you're probably missing 3.
But their fight mechanics, they really deserve a shout out for making that all work.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And there are people who have complained they don't like that.
It shows you where to block and stuff.
Where you need to block, and then where you need to slash.
But I think what they're missing is what you said before, and they're almost doing like a workout routine.
Yeah,
because
if you put all those pieces together
and
for
you
a typical
look at how it's
run,
moving, and you look at, and it's almost like some kata too,
It'd be cool for somebody to take a whole run and track like what the weapon block scope was.
Yeah, I bet you, like I said, some of them might be close to like katas, like old karate katas, with like how you're holding your arms, and then the duck, and then
brilliant.
It could be, who knows where or it could just be randomized and we're overlooking this or overcomplicating
but still,
this.
But
conceptually, it is very similar to a kata,
Yeah, when you look at all the movements.
Yeah, the way it's having you block. And
even some of the angles of the, yeah.
No, it's freaking cool concept.
I give them credit. Schell's not to be toyed with.
No, they're one of the best development studios in VR.
And again, this is an older game, so I mean, by today's standard, like if they made it today, it might be a little different, but.
And I say it all the time, I'm not going to be the one that's going to go kiss the shoes of like when AAA developers come rolling in. I think that we have our AAA developers and they're going to make better games than...
I think we need to change...
They're AA developers now, but they're on... Like one day they're going to be the big... There are top dogs in VR, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's... In the VR world, to me, they are AAA.
That's kind of what I'm saying. It sucks when you
get a AAA studio who comes into VR and they still get that recognition, because you know what? It doesn't always work.
Historically, it doesn't. To me, the AAA studios are Schell Games... I might miss one, but we got Schell Games. We have Resolution Games. We have Vertigo Games. We have Fast Travel Games. We have End Dreams.
Mighty Coconut.
You have Mighty Coconut. You have Cloudhead Games. These are our AAA games, and we should, or AAA studios, and we should treat them as such. Just because a big name comes rolling in, I think that these are the guys who make the best ones, and it shows in games like Until You Fall. But just to do my rating real quick, and then we'll ramble. Whatever. So as you probably caught from Stratus, usually we give a little breakdown of how our rating system works. I kind of forgot to do that, but yeah, 5 rating categories broken 1 to 20, total making the final score. So first one, gameplay. That was probably the second easiest category for me to do. That's a 20. That's an easy 20. They did, like I said, a great job with the progression. They did a great job with the upgrades, the different weapon types. Two-handed weapons, you'll hear a lot of people say, like, when talking about it, like, oh, I couldn't get the feel of using it to work right. And that's because just like two-handed weapons are heavy. Like, you got to use 2 hands with it. So it's like they have a cool weight distribution with it. But I like, using 2 one-handed weapons. But they have great different weapon types, upgrades, different difficulties. The runs being the same is bad and good. In the sense of it being good, it helps you really learn it and learn the different enemies, learn how to make it farther, and really does get you farther. It'll probably hurt it in the replayability category, but for the gameplay, it kind of helps it. But gameplay was easy. That was a 20. Aesthetics, that's a 15 for me. I can kind of mirror what you said. There was nothing like we went crazy about the Red Matter 2 soundtrack. I couldn't tell you what the music in this game sounds like. I don't know if I turned it down. I don't know if I was just so focused on fighting. Definitely it has music. I don't know. It just didn't stick out. You know what I mean? But nothing bad to say either. It wasn't like anything annoying. It just like there's so much going on in the game, But aesthetics, I gave them a 15. Functionality was the easiest category for me because that's a 20. Yeah, I'll mirror exactly what you said. It's so impressive, all the stuff they have going on with no glitches. I had no frame rate drops, no game crashes, no lagginess. Exactly what you said. There was no time that I blocked and it went through anyway, or I ducked. And there was, if anything, I was like, wow, they're really generous with how much you actually have to sway and duck for it to count. But functionality, that was easy, no brainer, 20. Replayability, I was going back and forth on this one, but I'm settling on 15 with it. I think I would give it a 20 if it was co-op, but there does hit a point where it's, how often are you going to go back to it? I think if you're somebody that's looking to put together, a workout routine in VR where you use different games throughout the day, I think Until You Fall is a great one to keep it fresh and you're not even going to realize that you're working out as much. It's probably the best example of gamified exercise. This and Thrill the Fight, I'd say. Both of those 2 games you'll play and the exercise is secondary, but huge. You're going to be burning calories, sweating a bunch. So, great job to them in so many different ways. But due to the lack of co-op, due to the lack of randomized runs, so like you're going to know what it's going to look like. And while I said that helps gameplay, I think that does hurt the replayability. Maybe if there's a setting to turn on random, that way, I don't know, keep it fresh. But replayability, I'm going to give them a 15. And value, I'm going to give them a 20 on this. I was going back and forth on it. I was going back and forth until your review, and I think you actually convinced me, especially with your example of, dude, what exercises can you get that many hours and value out of for $25? And it's like, yeah, it is one of the best examples of gamified workout.
And that doesn't even count the game.
Yeah, and the game's fun. They've made this really great workout app hidden inside a really cool game, really cool fighting game. I think that there's a lot of things a lot of developers can study off of how they did this, in terms of making it a fun game, making it enjoyable. Everything runs smooth. So I mean, value, I'm gonna end up giving them a 20 on. $25, $24.99 is we're so spoiled as VR fans. It's one of the
it always goes on sale.
Yeah, it's one of the pricier games. We actually, full disclosure, we did buy it on sale because it was a pretty generous sale.
Less than 20?
Yeah, I want to say like 17, 18 bucks, something like that. I mean, so if you want to wait for a sale, it does go on sale. You can use a coupon code, whatever. You get one of those Oculus 30 codes because you haven't bought a game in a while.
They never change either. It's always the same code.
Yeah, and I never get those. I buy too many games. I'm too much of a game whore. They see me adding games every couple days.
They already know. They're like, there's no reason to give them a coupon.
Why are these guys going to get it anyway? So fuck him. So value, though, I'm going to give them a 20. So 20, 15, 20, 15, 20, total of 90.
Not bad.
No, it was a great game. I liked it more than I thought I was going to be honest with you.
No, I could tell.
Yeah,
I could tell in the party chat.
I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. Well, dude, as much as you could tell I was enjoying it, I don't think this is one of the hardest games I've ever laughed single player, listening to you in party chat.
Oh man, dude, I got.
You had me dying laughing.
I was fighting one of the boss guys, and
not one of the boss guys, one of the harder enemies.
And I was fucking backed into my back was against a wall, and there was nothing I could do, and
you had to dodge.
I was dodging, and then I thought I was just gonna get murked. He was like smashing me in the face with his
pretty much his equivalent of dash.
Oh
you know?
man, right in the face. And yeah, but it lasted. It was just a long beating.
Probably like 5 minutes, dude. I was sitting there sweating, not from playing the game, from
Kept
laughing.
Doing, oh my god, I'm like, holy shit, dude, what the? Yeah, oh yeah. I was trying everything. And I knew I wasn't gonna make it, but I put up the biggest struggle I could.
And I think he finished you with like an uppercut with his hammer.
Right to the face.
Right to the kisser.
And then it ended with him kind of slow mode in air with his knee up, like he literally put so much momentum in smashing your face in that he's 8 feet in the air afterwards.
No, the game's
it was
fun.
hysterical.
It's fun. You're gonna work out.
But that's that party element though, because if I was by myself,
it wouldn't have been anything special.
I wouldn't have said shit.
Yeah.
I would have just played the game. But because we're in party chat,
it makes it more fun.
Sometimes it makes the games even more fun.
Now imagine if it was co-op and I was watching you get in this fight, hearing that all too, dude. I'd be dying.
Knowing you can't help me until I die.
Yeah, because only one person can tag at once. Oh my god.
That makes it even cooler. I like that feature.
If that's how they did it, I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, because it adds that funny element too.
Yeah, like dude, it's just dash and I'll try to replace you.
I can't do it anymore.
Maybe if you dash away, then the other person can dash. Tag in.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna play it because I've got
some more to do.
Yeah, I got some more to do.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time. There's a lot of games that we have to beat before we review.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you need to unlock every single weapon in this game and buy everything and fully upgrade it and beat it on every difficulty and all that stuff in order to review it.
No, I'm one of those. I mean, if I do see a new weapon, of course I'm going to check it out. But I'm not necessarily going to take it because you get invested. Like you said, it costs you over $1,000 to upgrade your weapon now.
And then you play. Okay, because of how strong my dash is, so much of my play style is based around that dash. So it's like
that's funny shit to do too, though.
The dash is the best. The little projectile enemies, I freaking hate them because you'll be fighting another dude, then you'll see the exclamation point icon to let you know you're getting attacked from the side. You're
getting double teamed.
There's a projectile coming at you from half the map. You're like, this fucking. So what I usually do to them, because they don't have that much guard, I'll dash twice, and then it breaks their guard, and then I mess them up. But then you fight stronger projectile people later into it, too, and they have more health, and you're like, you fucking pests.
I definitely say it's a must-own, if you like, especially if you love this style of gaming.
If you like roguelites,
definitely.
I'd say it's a must-own. If you like sword fighting games, is it going to be the most realistic sword fighting? No, but they have an interesting, very unique and cool way of doing
fight
it.
Mechanic, yeah.
And if you're looking for gamified working out, if you're like...
home run.
Yeah, if you want to work out but you don't want to do a fitness app, this and Thrill the Fight, man.
I'm not knocking fitness apps, but when they're designed specifically for fitness,
you
it's
go
like
into
mentally you're working out.
It's a fitness... You don't play this to work out.
I enjoy them. I love Les Mills.
Yeah, Les Mills is probably my favorite one.
That's, to me, it's like I'm going to a gym, I'm working out.
And you have to have that... almost that like workout mentality.
Correct.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna go work out. It's like
when you
it
can
has
be
that
tricked
feel.
into working out like they do with this game. Yeah, it's totally different because
gamified exercise.
Yeah, you're
man.
not as prepared for the work, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then even if you go into it thinking, oh, I know I'm gonna sweat, well, just like I am, or you after 30 minutes, you're still going in there. It's a fun game.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I always heard that this was one of the and read that it was one of the higher burning caloric games. And I'm like, I've played sword fighting.
I'm a believer.
Now I get it.
I'm a believer.
And it's the way that they mentally trick you into swinging hard, because you
You
only
get
have to swing
rewarded for
big. You only have to swing big. You don't have to swing hard.
No.
But I swing hard. You know what I mean?
I mean, they tell you, I think, the bigger you swing, the better.
But there's no way for it to track power.
Who swings real slow?
Slow but wide. That's boring. You fucking
get some sort of demon beast in front of you who's armed.
When you're 15 minutes into a run in VR, you're immersed. You're there at that point. You're that character by 15 minutes.
My fiance will walk by me and she'll always say like, "Don't swing, like real quick," because she sees the arms. You're like, "Fuck, I can't time this."
Oh man!
Especially with the arms coming up to block shit, like take one right in the face.
And like technically your combos do have amount of time that you have to use them before they run out, but there's been very few times that I haven't been. It's mostly because like I got to adjust my play area while at the same time they're dazed. So even though there's like a timer on the combo, it's not really an issue.
No, unless it's one of the harder.
Yeah. The guys who go down. Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to take you multiple times. Multiple times.
I think we just about covered things on.
I had fun.
On this
like
one.
I said, you'd still catch me playing it.
Yeah, I had more fun than I thought I would. If I see an update for this game, I'm going in.
I wish I'd gotten it a year ago, so I was better at it though.
Yeah, I wish I got it pre two-handed update.
Yeah.
So that way I could have seen that full
update.
Yeah.
I love watching it happen.
But somehow I have a feeling, even for a game that's 2 years old, I don't know if it's done. The
Probably
last update, they added localization and two-handed weapons 4 months ago.
Probably not.
And that's crazy. Only in VR, man, do we get these single-player games that get supported like this.
That just keep going.
A $25 game is getting massive updates
For
2 years later?
Yeah.
Come on.
That is cool. No, I agree.
I love our little niche. It's the best.
I totally agree.
There's no, come from $60 to $70 console games to VR, you're fucking spoiled.
Yeah, you spend $25, you get
hours
of
yeah,
gameplay.
oh my god, with updates 2 years later. So props to Schell Games. Hopefully one day we see a co-op, even if it's in an Until You Fall 2. I'd buy it. I'd be on it.
Yeah, we'll be all on it.
So great job on this one, and stay tuned for a little special something coming this week.
Sweet.
All right. Catch you all soon. Ciao, ciao.